It happens. And he burns through the cards, destroying them. These were £2 from way at Walmart. Bang. Here we go. He goes through the pack, burning through each card, risking his life for you, risking his life to do a card trick. For the first time, put your finger there. You could have had any of these cards. You could have gone further, you could have gone back. We could have done that 1,001 times so you were happy. But you chose one card, and that one card was... And Bob's on the back, burnt. He's now died. His family are going to be mourning him. Luckily, I'm not insured. But don't worry. Turn it over. One, the only. Nine of spades! Can we do one more? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to stay, but it helps. Otherwise, I'm back alone in my bedroom again. No one wants that. So this is something I shouldn't admit this, but this is something a bit new. It's based on my old work. I wrote this more for the people that follow my work. I don't know why. I wanted to give them something new. Oh, yeah, I meant to say hello. Hello, Chaotic Minions. So right now there's a bunch of men in their bedroom going, woo, he acknowledged us. I know, I made you laugh. I have a weird fan base. I'll tell you more about that later on. Anyway, so you already know I got lots of different words. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to do the same thing. And anytime you like, just shout stop.
Stop.
You happy now?
Yes.
Do my cool fan. Have a look at the word. You happy with the word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Not too sure?
Very happy.
Okay. I don't want to push you into it. Can you put it into the pack? Shuffle it up. Oh, show those guys as well.
Oh.
I forgot to tell you. Okay. Shuffle it up. Brilliant. And put it. Oh, I forgot the paper. It's because I've already done it once. I repeat myself. It's like we're watching the same trick but a different version. We are. Oh. Okay. That's better than I can do it. Right. So put them in the box for me, please, because I'm just very lazy. Yes. Not the burnt box, because that'd be a bit weird. Okay. Okay. So earlier on, I wrote down a prediction on a piece of paper. If your word was written on that piece of paper that you picked, just pretend we're back to where we were before. If it was written on that piece of paper, would that be pretty awesome?
Yeah.
Check it out. Written on that piece of paper. Your word. Which I didn't write, did I? Could have just grabbed it from over there. Just ignore that. Ignore that. What was your word?
Breakfast tea.
Oh, really? Not, it was meant to be milk. Was it not milk? Oh, that's a bit embarrassing. That's my tea snap. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Do you remember the water?
Yeah.
Sorry, let's do this. Pick it up, please. I'm going to make myself a tea. Don't smell. Anything different?
It's warm.
It's warm. And there we go. Nice cup of English breakfast tea. There we go. Thank you. No one knows what to do, really, do they? What just happens? What just happened? Is it that weird? So there we go. So this is a variation. I'm going to explain this first. You can sit down now if you like. Thank you so much. Give a big round of applause. Thank you. If anyone wants to check this out, this is it's not as hot as I'd like, because I don't want to be rude about America, but you guys don't own any kettles. Why do you not own kettles? Seriously, I had the microwave water. What's with that? You have coffee machines, but not kettles. So it's not as warm as I would have liked it to be. I couldn't find one. You don't want to buy a kettle for a lecture. Yeah, maybe I should have. I could have got one from Walmart. Anyway, I'll stop complaining that you don't have kettles, and we'll move on. So this is based on an effect I released called Too Hot to Handle. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a more simpler version, because obviously the original version is you force free objects. I'm going to cover that in a second. And you have free people. And I wanted to make a more condensed version. And what was nice about using a bottle of water is a lot more simpler than doing it with a can. So I'm going to go over the heat processes later on, because I'm going to be covering heat and cold in full detail later on. So we'll leave that for the minute. But basically, if I had hot water, I would be able to store that for about an hour. But again, I'll cover that in a bit. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a more condensed version of my effect Too Hot to Handle. And this is, basically I call this Ethel's trick. It's based on another idea, because I used to scream Ethel. It's complicated, you have to see the show, no one came. But it was all about robbing this lady's tea, and that's where it was written from. So where am I? Yes. So what I do, right, give me a second. It's just because I'm thinking about 5 tricks all at once. So let me explain this one. So first of all, what I do, let's go over the production. This is just a silly idea. I don't do this every table, because obviously if I cough at every table, it's a bit weird. But sometimes I'll just produce it from, let's pull it out and pass it around, or I'll make a joke. But I love doing this production, where I cough and I cough. It's better for stage. But basically, I just have it here. So when Dan's shaking my hand, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. So as I'm talking, it's pretty in there. So when I do all the coughing, and then obviously, as I drop it down, I load it in my mouth. Now, for you guys, that's just a magic trick, but later on in my act for lay people, I do things where I really do swallow stuff. So this becomes a false, again, we'll get into that, this becomes a false memory. But what's really sweet here is I can hand this out, and because no one's really paying attention and they don't really want to touch it, they're just desperate to get rid of it. So as they pass it around the table, I just take it back, I dump it into my pocket, and I grab the one from here. I'll explain this later as well. And I pull that out. And it's very casual, because I just do it while there's no heat. It's just a very casual thing. And that goes down. And believe it or not, no one will touch that bottle again. They didn't want to touch it in the first place. So, because it's come out my mouth. So basically, I found a way. If I produce a bottle normally, just take it out of my pocket, they're more likely to touch it. But if it comes out my mouth, they're more likely not to want to touch it. Plus, most people think I'm homeless anyway, so it kind of helps. So that's why I do the mouth thing. So now, once that's there, I have in my pocket, I have my object I want. So I have milk here. Unfortunately, I only stole 1 milk and 1 tea bag from my hotel. I should have stolen more. But what I would do normally is I would have the object in here. So this would be in this pocket. And I would force my word, so breakfast tea, and I palm it out. So let me explain the lolly first. I'm all over the place today. It's because I realized I've forgotten my tea bag and milk. So the force I use, it's the same. I'm going to go over this in more detail in a minute. So what am I doing? Sorry, do you mind if I just sort my brain out? Is that okay? Sorry, just give me a second. Right. Here we go. Yeah, I'm good. So different words. So look, basically, I put my force word I want. So let's go for lolly on top of the pack. And here we go. So put my word that I want on top. So here's lolly. So it's on top. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show all the different words very fairly. I make a few jokes. Some of them are good, some of them are terrible. And now I mix it up. But what I want to do is I want to condition one thing. As I riffle down, I shout stop. I do a fan. I show the word. So I do a real fan, lemonade. I riffle down, I do a word. I do curry. I riffle down, I do a word. I do ice. But now what's really cool is I riffle down and I do the swing cut swindle force. I call it swing cut swindle force fan force. I don't know why. I just thought I added that into it. But it was cool. And now I do the same thing. I condition it. I swing cut over across and then I grab a fan. So now what I've done is I've conditioned them into seeing the same thing every time. So it doesn't feel like it's a force. And I do offer them to change it. Now, in a lecture, I can't really afford for you to change things because things are set a certain way. In the real world, they can change it about 12 times. I can produce nearly 12 items on here. So I don't mind if they change their mind because it becomes more impressive. I've got all kinds of stuff on me. So we have the word. So this is lolly. They look at that. And that's the force. Do you want me to go over that again, the force? Yeah?
No, makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense, good.
Yeah.
So now this is where it becomes really cool. I'll just get my flash paper. I do the flash paper production where I have a piece of flash paper here. And let's say I'm doing a lolly. All I have to do, because I've got so much heat taken off, no one's really paying attention. I can do the jokes. I can lean back. I can still the lolly, sleeve it very casually, do the joke, which is the Swahili joke, where I make the joke. It's only in a language I can understand. I ripple it off like this. I take it from the sleeve, and I'm going to cover this in more detail in a minute with sleeving. And I just do this beautiful production, which I absolutely adore. And the best, you know what the best thing about this trick is? You took your lolly, didn't you? Did you take?
Oh,
it's
down there.
Oh,
yeah.
right. I thought you took it. You just get that wonderful production. And what's really nice is straight away as an opening trick, they've got something. Now I don't normally always do it with the cards. I can do the lolly trick in about 10 different ways.
Hey, Kieran, can you show us, just where it is when it comes from your sleeve, and then it's got to be pretty simple. But
I'm going to teach someone how to do this later on.
Okay, cool.
So, but I'll just show it. But yeah, it's just literally, you don't need to sleeve it. You just need to get it into lolly palm production. So it's just from here. That's what I call it, and it's just this. Boom.
Yeah, but without the flash paper, you're just moving it out. That's it. Yeah.
But you're not shifting your hand. I see a lot of people that do this.
Yeah.
You're basically just pushing up with your finger. And I'll teach someone how to do this later on. But you're just pushing it up. So that's just the production, and I use that for everything. So let me show you with an egg. I bought eggs for an egg. So I love the fact that they're white here. Same idea. It's still an idea. I get it from my sleeve, show my hands here, bring it down. I get the egg, which is nice. So now let's do the box switch thing. So say I've got lollies in here. So sometimes when I do the lolly trick, I will have lollies in a box as well.
Well, let's do that now. Kieran, sorry to interrupt you, but we want to bring your mic a little bit closer. I'm afraid to touch you because I think you might burst into flames or I'll vanish up your sleeve. But let me just do this.
Sorry, it's a dream come true.
Yeah. Oh, really? All right, good. For me, too. Yep.
So let's do the switch with the lollies. So say this is full of lollies, and this goes in my pocket. Again, very casually, what I'll do is obviously I get them to put the cards in the box. Again, it's all casual. The misdirection's all the piece of paper. No one's really paying attention here. And I switch the box very casually. I call it the la-la switch because I'm going la-la in my head when I do it. Again, it's not a big deal. It's just here. And all I do is while they're looking at the piece of paper, I drop it down, I move around. And if you'll notice, everything about me is movements, big expressions. So the reason I do that is because people get used to me being big. Plus, the skeddy's going to come near you. So now I'm using everything about me as my advantage. I've already established that my eye's a bit weird. I've established that they're going to get something. But now I come back here, I switch this, and the trick's over. So that's the lollies here. And now, still, whatever object I'm going to sleeve here, obviously this is set. Ready? And this is where it becomes cool. I then go boom, boom. They go wow. And then all I do is this, a bit extra, and I can do the box production. Now, you can use that box production for anything. I sometimes produce toast. So, and I'll show you another one. So this is the one I have with toast, where I produce toast. And I'm going to cover that routine in a minute. Produce toast. And my favorite one is where I force them into flour, and I do the production with the flour. But you'll notice that one of the words said planted flour on it. So this is my favorite one, because now I shake the box, which is now switched, and I shake it. It fills with soil. Yeah. And then I do this, and I've got planted flour. And I give it to them. It's a bit mad, but so that's like this one principle for switching objects. You know, you can do sand, sugar, all sorts. So like a lot of people, they'll switch it for another day, but why not switch it for soil? And I'll show you how to set that up. I actually have a bag of soil. I bought it from Walmart, $3. It's cheap as. Unfortunately, it was wet, and then I got it all over my hotel room. Though I am going to leave it in my hotel room, because I think it's going to be really hilarious. They're going to go, why is there a bag of soil in my hotel room?
Yeah.
Also, this is the bin I stole from my hotel room. I'm going to return that later. So here we go. Right. So I pour the soil into that. It's very simple. And then what I've done is I've cut the bottom off the box, and I've just glued it into here. And I put this here. This is a real mad piece. I haven't performed it as much as I wanted to. It's still I feel like someone else could do something better with this. I think it would be really nice for a wedding, as a wedding gift, but I think it needs someone to really take it and develop it. So, and now I'll just pour my soil into here. This is why I have to go shopping at Walmart to get all my stuff, because I can't really take this through customs. It's for a magic trick, sir. So I just pour it into there. Okay. Like that. Okay. And then I'm set. And then that just goes in my pocket. And again, approaching the same concepts of switching, I just switch it for the thing. And I tell you what, when the soil comes out of there, when you shake that, they just look at you like, what just happened? Because it's mad, right? And then do that, and then you give it to them, and they don't really know what to do. You just leave them all over the place. So that's the soil idea. So I realize it's weird because I've never really explained all three ideas all at once before, but I just wanted to get the idea of the combination of stuff. Now, the original version I created, I force 3 objects, and the 3 objects I force are egg, toast, and tea. And what I do is I do the same idea with a can. So the same idea. Obviously, I use smaller cans normally, but I couldn't find them here. So the same idea. I would have a can in my pocket here, very casually. Let's remove the egg. Oh, no, it's gone. Remove the bottom. This would go here. And I'd pass this out. I wouldn't make this come from my mouth, but I'd pass it out. You will pass it round, casually. Then I would take it back, dump it into this pocket, switch it into this pocket, and I switch the can. So again, it's a very casual thing. It's very bold, but if you're doing a table, no one's really paying attention. They just think, why is he making me touch a can? But it's weird. If you don't make them touch the can, they'll say the can was always hot. So you have to do the switch to do the convincing. But now that can sit here. And that can's not hot, by the way, but it can be. I've just put water in it. So when I do the snap thing, the tea, let's do this. This is just water.
Now, I'm curious if you're going to tell us how you do that.
Yeah. So you can put any liquid in this method.
Are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm going to do it in a minute.
Because you told me about this, I think like last year when I ran into you or something. I was like, how are you going to do that?
Well, let me clear some mess, because otherwise it's just going to get more chaotic. This is the problem with my act. When I work at my residency, my boss, she knows if I'm doing a good job or not, because she says it's just like going through a hurricane of like soil and toast and people like this going, what's going on? What just happened?
Yeah.
So let me move all this out of the way, and then I'll show you how to do the can. So I know I'm explaining things sporadically, but I'm trying to give you an idea of one concept.
I'll get you back to anything you don't explain.
Like, it's just, I want to just give the idea that this one idea of forcing objects can go anywhere. I mean, think about this. You could put sand, you could condense this, you could just do the lolly in the box bit. Because the other thing about the lolly in the box thing, when I do the first lolly, I always give it to a guy, and then the girl will go, but I want a lolly, and I go, I do that. And now they open up the box, they scream, because now I've done magic.
Yeah.
Magic. I haven't done a trick, I've done magic, because they asked me to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm in a position, and I'm going to cover that, again I keep saying I'm going to cover it, but I'm going to cover lots of stuff where you can make magic using wording, and the fact that basically you're prepared. Like, take the lolly, for instance. Sometimes when I do the lolly, I'll say, I've got a piece of paper here, and I think Sean saw me do this in the bar, and he was laughing. I'll say, I've got a piece of paper here. If you could make me physically do one thing with this piece of paper, what would you make me do? Now, obviously, as a magician, it'd be interesting what you say. If you could make, other than burn it, what would you physically make me do with that piece of paper? Burn it. So the first thing I say is, you're thinking burn it, and they'll go, yeah. And I go, no, not burn it. Anything else? What else would you do with it?
Tear it.
No one says that. It's an interesting thing. You say that to magicians. They say money. The likely things they're going to say is burn it, eat it, or make it come out your ass. Seriously, I'm not joking. They really do say that. Excuse my language. Or they'll say stick it up your nose. Now, I have a nail in my pocket. I can flash produce a nail. If they say eat it, I go, yeah, great, I'll eat it. Boom, lollipop. If they say pull it out your ass, I lean into them like this, and I do this. They go, cool, can you do me the job? Because I know they're going to say it. Again, one concept of the way you speak and you say things, people think they're going to say something original. I've never had, out of the 1,000 times of doing that, I've never had anyone say money. Not once. Yeah. And I think it's the wording, it's physically, because it's a confusing thing, right? When you say physically, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean? It doesn't say, if you could make me do anything with that piece of paper, what would you make me do? Oh, money. If you could physically make me do, so that wording means eat it, something disgusting, put it in your nose, a physical attribute. And people think they're funny because they think they're saying that for the first time. I did it in the bar, and Sean saw it. The guy said, eat it. He went, oh, what have I said? The other thing. And I reached and pulled the glove, and he just looked at me and went, and Sean's like, how did you know he's going to say? But it's not, because he's going to say 3 things. So that's just another concept. So let's get into the can, because I'll keep talking and talking about random ideas. So this is an idea I came up with my friend Alan Gorst and my friend Dan Martin. This was a contribution of 3 people thinking, how could you get a liquid into a can? And I then started messing around with how could I keep it hot. Because I realized very quickly that actually turning a can into a different liquid is actually a terrible trick. It is. I mean, you'll see it on TV. In England, a couple of guys I've worked for have done it on TV, and they do it well. Obviously, they force the word beforehand. But it's a lackluster trick. It should be the most amazing thing in the world, making a liquid change to another liquid. But it's not. And I only know that from hundreds of performances of trying to make it work. And this particular effect has taken me 7 years to get it to where it was. And I realized to make it work and to be magical, it had to be hot. Because by being hot, it's impossible. And then I realized that you have to switch it. They have to know it wasn't hot. So here we go. So this is how to set up. Basically, what's really cool, what we discovered, and I'll show you this, that the can's technology can be used against itself. Like everyone's putting gluing false tops and going through the bottom. We realized that you could actually manipulate the can to work for you. Let me explain what we see. So this one's already empty. But what we discovered is if you take the can and you put an incision right here, can you see that? Yeah. And I'll pass this around so you guys can see it, and I'll make another one. So if you guys want to just have a quick look at that, I'll explain how to hide it in a minute. What we discovered is, so amazing, if I do say so myself. What we discovered is that by putting an incision right here, so you have to turn it around, so let me do that so you guys can see. So this is normal can. Take it round. What we discovered is if you put it right here at this point, obviously you have to wash this a few times under a tap. I use root beer because I absolutely adore this drink. I don't get it in England, so I've drank 20 cans in 2 days, so might explain a few things. I'm sure my eye moved the right way before I started. Right, here we go. Pretty easy, right? So what we discovered is that there's this incision here. We'll get close up on that. That puts a hole here. Now, if you take...
hold on. I want to see where that is. Yeah. Turn back to him, not me. I don't want to see where I am. I know where I am. All right, good. All right, cool. So here. You turn it upside down, and then it's just below the spindle.
So check this out. If you move this round, this is the swishest thing in the world.
That is
boom, sealed. Oh. Thank you.
It even has like a bump there for it.
Yeah. It's like you think about it. Everyone's like cutting and welding into cans.
Yeah. And
we discovered, the group of us discovered that we could manipulate the can. And then what we discovered, which is badass, how do you get liquid in the can? So we, I'm not going to say how I knew, but you can siphon out fuel. Not that I've ever done that. But there's a way that if you take a tube and you put it in the water, it'll fill the can if it's at an angle, dangling. And then we worked on a pump, and the first pump we had my friend Dan and his dad, they're like physics guys, they're like proper genius. They had this whole pump where you put the liquid and it went in the seconds, it was mad. Obviously that broke over time, and this is what we came up with, a simple solution, bike pump. And what we've done is we've taken some tubing, and Alan did tell me the size, and I can't remember, I apologize, but someone's smart enough to know tubing. We took tubing. Small tubing, yeah, space. And what we did is we made an incision through a pipe. I say we because it really was a team effort, and I don't want to take credit for the 3 of us. I was the Steve Jobs of the operation, I think. Right, here we go. And now what we realized is that you can feed the tube through. Let's see. I don't take it out very often, so this is going to be interesting. Get back in there. Right. Alan's going to laugh at me. Let's try that again. There we go. Got it. It's a bit of a pain, but I think a few people struggle with this. I can see why. Apparently, I don't know how to do it either. You just basically just push. Dan, do you want to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well,
he's a real man.
No, I want to take a look at what you're doing, but.
Oh no, it's going through. It's going through.
Good. I just want to look at this. This is just an awl.
Yeah, right? So, I called it a braid awl.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Sure.
Woo!
So it looks like about 1/8 an inch for,
I thought it was bigger.
Yeah. Could be just slightly bigger than that. Right?
Slightly bigger. No, I'm trying to make a joke, but everyone's like,
yeah, who knows?
What's going on?
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to see that. Okay.
Yeah, so now what's really cool is you pour your water in. This really needs to be full to be effective, to be honest. You screw it. Ta-da. And now you have a pump. Now, you might say, Kieran, I'm wrong. I can use a different liquid. And if you come up with an effective way of making this look good, let me know. I'm always interested in people's idea. But this could be mulled wine. Think about that. It's Christmas. Mulled wine. Mm-hmm. And look.
Yeah.
It's also a good method if you ever need petrol, just to let you know. Right? I'm joking. I can't drive, so. Right. So you just do this. Obviously, this would be full. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes. And the best person I've ever seen perform this is my friend Neil Henry. He does this in his Edinburgh show. It was amazing. His switch for the can, he used a Savant. It really works well on stage, this trick. Though, actually, the weird thing is we discovered the highlight of this particular act wasn't the drink changing. Because this is the interesting thing about this trick. The fact that it's hot is still good. Do you want to know what the most mind-blowing part about this trick is? The toast. When the cards change the toast, that's the bit that makes them go mental. That going to tea is still good. It is a good trick, but it's the toast that blows their mind. And that's why I developed all the card box stuff, because switching cards for weird objects just messes with people. Okay, so we'll go with that. There's not a lot in there, but you get the idea. Obviously, this seals up. Now, it's not completely sealed. If you turned it upside down, it would leak, but only a little bit. You could seal it up with glue, but then you've got loads of problems that if you start using glue. But what's nice now, you just tidy it up, bit of cloth, and you got sealed. And then when you open it, this is when it becomes even more exciting. This is the best thing about it. As soon as you open it, everything's destroyed. Everything. They're like, you could cut that open with a knife, and you would find nothing. Yeah. Because when you open it, it destroys the lid. So it's like the more... Seriously, I probably get really excited about this. I know that we're not going to make millions of pounds from figuring out how to hack into Coke, but or a liquid. But the fact, I don't care if anyone else comes up with another version.
It's pretty cool. I'm already thinking of stuff.
Yeah, to be honest, I used to do this all the time when I'm working. I've moved on to more other stuff now. I've really been pursuing a lot of my weirder stuff, experiment. This is pretty experimental, but proper out there stuff recently. So I haven't been doing this as much. But as I said, seeing people do it in Edinburgh, I think I went to 5 Edinburgh shows and I saw it done 3 times by different people. So it's great quality to see something good. And people love it. But the toast is the best bit. Yeah. Even I thought the toast was wicked. So now you just pour it out. Obviously, this would be clear, but we haven't washed it. So that's the idea. So if you could just have a quick look. You would, even if you cut this open, you would find nothing. I'm not going to cut it open, but if you were to cut it open, nothing. Does anyone need me to go over that, or are we pretty clear?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. Now, the one thing from the opening that you did skip was the stickman in the cannon.
I'm going over that now.
Yeah, you're going to go to it?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Do you need some help cleaning that stuff up at all?
It's okay. I've got a bin. This is the problem with my act. It is messy. I am literally, but I embrace that because my whole style of being a magician is I very much have this. I have this DVD called Chaotic. Not that I'm plugging it, but I think it's called Chaotic because I really am kind of, that's my stuff. And I want to touch on this a little bit. People, they'll talk about being a character, and I was speaking to a lovely guy in Texas about this, and we were talking about, well, how do you find your character? And I was saying to him that I'm not a character. I am just me. I'm probably a slightly more exaggerated version of myself when I perform, but I'm very much myself when I do magic. And I think that when you're yourself, people, they like you more. So anyway, I'll talk more on that in a minute. So let me do that. So Bob, Where you been all my life? I love Bob. Let me get another cannon. This is absolutely wicked. So I'm going to sound like such a fanboy now. So you can probably guess where this comes from. It comes from Mr. Harlem. I think you probably thought I was going to say Jay Sankey, but it comes from down Harlem. When I was first, sorry, I'm just getting everything ready. When I was first into magic, the first trick I ever bought, and we're going to cover that later on, was cartoon. And I was such a fanboy of stickman tricks that I even have a jacket with fire on the arms with a stickman on. I meant to bring it, but I forgot. My wife keeps trying to get me to throw it away because it's got mold on it, but I won't. And I was really obsessed with stickman, and I created loads of stickman tricks. And obviously I met Richard Sanders, who has wonderful stickman tricks, and obviously later on, recently, I found out David Harkey has some really interesting stuff with stickmen. Obviously, I revisited this probably about a year ago. Basically, what it was, I run a site called the Chaotic Minions, and I gave away a trick with a stickman where a burnt stickman appears on a card. Anyway, my friend Steve Rowe, who you're probably going to hear more about in the next few years because he's amazing, he thought it would be cool to steal his son's Lego cannon and put a piece of flash